Back in the Soul Calibur 5 days, Raphael was known as one of the worst characters in the game. He was kind of trash because his horizontals were all supposedly super bad, and his verticals didn't track well enough to make up for it. Uh, Although just sidestep was kind of a meme more than real advice. But now, just sidestep, yeah, good luck with that. It's even more of fake advice than it was back then, and I feel like Raphael's kind of slept on. Anyway, moving right along to his moves. First up, you got Temple Bayonet. It's a simple -6 deal. You can start pressure afterwards or something, or if you get lucky, you can impact it for that level 3. You can duck it preemptively, but not on reaction. And you cannot interrupt with guard impact, because it jails after the first hit's blocked. Then you got Quick Needle. There's no mid, by the way, option after 5A, just pay attention to that. Which means it's totally safe to duck after the first 5A hit every time. You don't get a big punish, but you do get Rising K. That said, it might be better if you want knockdown to impact after that first hit, because like I said, regular 5AA jails, so it'll only come out if he does the low version. And you can even wait till you see the startup of a second attack coming out. Vicious Lullaby, on the other hand, does not jail. If you block both hits, you can go for a regular 5K, but you can duck between hits and get a much better punish. You can also impact, but that doesn't give you something better than this. Really quick, if he only does one hit of Vicious Lullaby, that puts him at -14, which means you can get a slightly better punish. Oh, I messed up. Maybe not? Oh, there it is. Yeah, -14. Sure enough. But it is kind of hard, as you saw, if you delay even a little bit to recognize, oh hey, the second hit's not coming out. It might already be too late to punish. So I would suggest just ducking whenever you see that move on block. Next is Violent Blood. It's a horizontal mid, also -12. But because it's kind of slow, you can reliably guard impact it on reaction. Take that opportunity if you have it. If he hits you with it 3 times in a row though, because you're failing to guard impact or something, it ends up being a lethal hit, so be careful. Or if you keep trying to sidestep, don't get blown up by horizontal mids. Just to show you, the lethal hit is also -12. Then he's got his 2A, which is one of the rarer 2As in the game, in that it's -10. So you can actually even go to A slide B afterwards for pressure, which means he can't even go for some kind of tech crouch to get away. If you want to see that, like so. Most 2As I feel like are around -4, or most non-low 2As I should say. This is a special low, so it's blocked mid or low, and it's still quite negative. Speaking of things that are quite negative, Heel Snipe. Regular Rising B punish. Next you've got this weird move. It's another relatively reactable horizontal. But you don't want to impact it. This one you want to punish, because it is definitely the most punished move in his horizontal library. And you can also duck it on reaction, but you're looking at about 50 damage versus 80 damage. Much better to go for the AGA punish if you can do it. Next is Rising Wyvern, which is a much less climactic -12. Almost reactable maybe, so you can try to duck it. But if you just end up blocking, go for your regular load kick punish. Crouching A, same as 2A, so if you happen to block it crouching, you don't get your A slide B, obviously. I was going to show a 4A as an example, but I ended up doing jumping A, whatever, don't pay attention to me. I say while recording a video. Rising Tando is -4, which means you do not get to do that. In fact, you can't even use 6A to start pressure afterwards, because he does have a 10 frame with his 6B. Like so. Personally, I would recommend using something that tech crouches if you're going to start pressure afterwards, because if he does want to continue pushing buttons, he's probably going to go for a high. He doesn't have a lot of anything else that's going to be fast enough to beat out buttons, seeing as how he is -4. Scarlet Talon, it's the only jumping attack where he spins around while jumping. It is a horizontal mid, which is kind of weird for jumps, because most of those are high by nature of the fact that you're spinning while jumping into the air. But as you can see, his is mid. If you really want to style on him, you can try for the base hold, because like I said, it's the only one where he spins around. Or you can just play it safe. It's -12, although that's kind of lame. You can also guard impact pretty reliably. That one's up to you. If you go for a regular impact, it will level 3 the kick, and level 2 the vertical. All of them are roughly the same timing. It's close enough that you can probably always go for the impact if you expect a jump attack, but then he can bait impact by just empty jumping. A lot of words to say, probably just look for the spin and base hold. His facing away horizontals are the same as the not facing away versions, but with slower startup. Both of them are -6, I think. Oh, well then, that makes his 2A not the same, doesn't it? If he does a facing away horizontal, start pressure with 6A or something afterwards, up to you really. Alright, so I swear I already recorded vertical attacks for Raphael, but the video disappeared, so here I am again. Rapid Arrogance is a mid-mid-high-mid string. As you would guess, you can duck the third hit and punish him that way, but you can also just block the whole thing, or if you happen to get hit by the beginning, either way you get a 14 frame punish, or you can get a nice counter hit there. The audio probably got messed up just then, didn't it? If you're slow, you'll get counter hit. But if you're quick, then even if you miss the rising, you'll still get the hit. The exact timing is... I suck. The same. He can do this. Be ready to react with the normal. Wow, sure. Yeah, I suck. Like so, be ready to visually confirm, even though I wasn't just now. It's too late at night for this, and I'm sad about losing the video. Something you should probably pay attention to. The third hit is a level 3 guard impact, so it's worth trying, because he has a mid follow-up. You just duck, then he'll hop over your head and kick you in the face. But you can get parried. Grave Needle is a 2-hit low. If you block the first hit only, it's only... Excuse me. I think it's -12 versus -16. So if you block both hits, you can launch him. But he doesn't have to do both hits. You can just do one. And if you're waiting for the second hit, you'll get messed up. But if you go for the rising kick after only one hit and he does do both, then you get counter hit, so it's up to you. If you think you can react that well, then go for it. Moving right along. Single Montante. I don't really know what the deal with this move is, because it's a vertical, but it tracks super well. So you gotta step left. You gotta step right. If you step left, he will destroy you. So step right and very quickly go for the back throw because he turns back around pretty quick. If you do block it, it's safe. Just to show this really quick. So your somewhat standard pressure starter doesn't really work. It is gonna lose if you go for a 16 frame there. It's -6 and his 6B is 10 frames. So if you want to guarantee you can push a button after blocking that, you just go for the 4A. I don't know if I would always try pushing a button. It would probably be best to just react and sidestep right. It's up to you if you block it what you do though, because obviously if you go for 4A it's probably not even your turn anymore. You can go into stance afterwards or something weird if you feel like. Anyway, too many words. I'm sorry. Triple butta and tempo. That is the 10 frame 6B in question. If he only does the first hit, it's -12. If he does the first 2 hits, it's -14. But because he can stance cancel, if he does the first 2 hits, it's not really -14. So if he does the full string, it's not even a natural combo, and it's very punishable. The exact timing string is the same. So get your big punish if he's feeling brave like that. He has a version that cancels into guard impact, but it only works on lows, so I believe it's an attempt. If he expects some kind of weird tech crouching low to cheese him when he should be able to frame trap with a 10 frame, this is probably his countermeasure. It also makes your kick whiff if you try to punish the one-hit version, but like it only works on lows, like so. So pretty much any follow-up you do afterwards is gonna hit him. So here's why it's not actually -14. So he does the 2-frame version. Oh wow. So training mode doesn't work for that move specifically. I don't know why. Anyway. Yeah, he's just gonna auto duck while he's in that preparation stance, and that's how you get lots of nasty punishment combos. Alright, so to show you something pretty neat with triple butta, whatever. So he'll dodge that, but you can just throw that out. But he can actually frame trap you, even though preparation stance won't duck that, and if he's trying to be sneaky like that, he loses his high ducking privilege. But you can go for a coverall option by just pressing 5BB or something like that, which will both catch an attempt to duck and catch if he tries to frame trap you for trying to catch him ducking. You can also, in this scenario, go for your trusty 14 frame mid. Of course, Sig 3K is not the best move in the library by a long shot. Moving right along. Raptor Rush. Oh look, it's a launcher, it's -14, right? Except, no it's not. It's a ruse, because he can go into preparation, so... Same deal. One thing that's probably worth noting is, even though it seems like he gets hit by both hits in training mode, that's just a training mode ism. What's his command? I'm sorry. It is 3B, okay. So, if I just 3B and block, and play back. Sorry. So that's a training modism to be aware of. He can definitely block that second hit there. You're not getting a free combo. Yeah. And then the same thing applies for Fendante, whatever that means. Wait, no it doesn't. Fendante is -8, I believe. So you can do that sort of thing. Or however you prefer. Next up is Striking Snake, which is -16. This one can also go into preparation, but it doesn't particularly matter because it's a low and you're crouching to block it, and you're going to end up like so. I guess it means that he can end up being in a mashing state. If he's mashing, it'll come out as a counter hit, so you gotta be ready to react and not drop your combo, question mark. But in terms of what move to punish it with, it's gonna be Rising B either way, doesn't really affect you. So this move. -14, as you can see, but yet another one of these. And yet another one that you can just 5BB your way through if you don't want to guess. Next is Affondo Fendante, big ol' lunging move. Forces crouch, does a ton of guard damage. Is -10, so you can go for Rising A and get the side hold mix-up of sorts, in which you can go for mashable mid, mashable low, or kick to frame trap the mashing. Yeah, fast version's the same, both -10, either's gonna let you get a real punish. And then he's got Novo Soleil, it's a DP, right? Musical chimes. Big punish, like any good DP. He's got a just frame version 2. Killing me. Does some guard damage. The hard part there is you do kind of have to wait for him to land or you'll still be in block stun. There's a lot of block stun on that. Deadly Dirge. Yeah, I don't know. -14, but he's kind of far away, so sure, take the punish, right? Crouching Montante. More Montantes. Montantes for everyone. You can try that. Or, yeah, I don't really know what to tell you. It's just a plain old crouching B. So this move. Well, crouching 3B. It's a way to wreck you for trying to throw him. It's -14, as you can see. But if you block it mid-screen, 4A actually seems to be slower at max range. So it won't work. Just showing what happens to you if you try to throw, and he uses that to get around it. Anyway, Rising Threat. Safe, but quite negative. Can duck that second hit preemptively because he's got this version. Still lets you punish the same way. And this version, which jails. Since it jails, it's not like anything bad. For this one, you can go for A slide B. He won't be able to mash you out of it with anything, and if he goes for the impact, it will still catch him. Yeah. Then he's got his jumping move, which, oops, sorry for being terrible. I think I mentioned earlier that his jumps just, he can impact kind of reliably, but this one you can get behind. It's -10, so again you can try A slide B afterwards. and he won't be able to mash you. And because this one is rather slow, you can, if you're really brave, start stepping and then impact or block once you recognize that he's spinning. Facing away Montantes are facing away Montantes. Yeah. -6 and -8, nothing special. Just to demonstrate real quick the back turn stuff, the crouching version, like I said, -8, so you can get your 6A and it'll counter hit anything that he may have pushed, or whatever your 16 frame button that you like is. The other standing version behind him doesn't work quite so well. If you try to 6A, you'll clash. So if you expect that for some reason he's going to mash after doing that, then you can just bop him with 4A, whatever. Or you can, 3K or what have you. One thing I did forget to mention earlier on though, so if he's doing the 3-hit version here, it is -10, so he can't catch you with any sort of mashing. So if you don't just duck, and you happen to block the 3rd hit, you can A-slide B, same as any other -10 move, and it will catch the impact if he happens to do it. Yeah, that's all. Alright, kicks. As you can see, we are now into Season 2, which happened in the middle of making this particular video, or at least the release date for it got announced, so I put this off a bit so that my data wouldn't be quite as out of date. But if there are any inaccuracies thus far, I apologize for that. So, leading right into Raphael's kicks. It's a pretty standard assortment. High kick is a high kick. Safe on block, like oh so many. You get the big guard impact, like oh so many. This particular one tracks running though, so watch out. Up close, it's hard to sidestep him. It's -8, so you do have your 6A as an option. I would say you have this. Gosh dang it! I would say you have A-slide B as an option too, but he does have that dangerous 6B, which basically invalidates that against anything that's not -10 or worse. Venom toe kick is a mid, but it's the same deal. You can go for that, or that, or that, but not much else. You can also just try spinning if you think he's gonna mash. It's safe on block, and like the others, you get the level 3 impact. Gosh, I suck. Next up, Venom toe kick. So this one a bit safer. You're gonna have to actually 4A and it might clash, or you can try spinning afterwards. Sorry. Record. Like so. See, that'll clash. So all you can really do for guaranteed if he mashes afterwards is just kick. But then if he doesn't mash, then you're kind of just using a bad move. So I would recommend spinning afterwards, which even after the nerf still works for simple moves like 6B. Oh, well, that wasn't a good demonstration, was it? Make sure you take like a step forward after, or you will whiff. That's assuming he keeps going. Alright, arm kick, a lot simpler to explain. It is a simple low kick. That means it's -4 on hit. Unfortunately, again, 6B will get you, so consider spinning if it hits you. But also probably try mashing something fast to check him the first few times, see what he goes for after it. This pirouette sweep is, looks a lot more negative than it is, but it is only a rising K punish. It's a little more telegraphed though, so you can try to jump it. I don't think it's fast enough to... You have to basically read it if you want jumping B. Next up, Venom Heal. Now this one is actually really safe from what I recall. This is 4K. Yeah, 4A afterwards even loses. I think it's like -2, so you can throw out your kick and it'll still beat him. Because, quote, kicks beat verticals, unquote. On the same frame, at least they do. Other than that, same deal where, yeah, if you see that, just spin around. It's hard to tell his kicks apart, so it might be wise to just always try spinning if you block a kick. Now I say that, but don't always spin or he's just going to use a horizontal and hit you for it, especially there. Since, yeah, what are you going to do? He's -2. He has a 12 frame horizontal, you don't have a 10 frame. And your 12 frame is kind of bad, so yeah. Just to show you. So that doesn't work. But you can still kick him in the face, I guess. Anyway, moving right along, Hemlock Kick. I want to say this one is -6, but let me not lie to you. So you can go right along with your 6A if you so desire. Really hard to tell that one apart from some of his other kicks, honestly. It's a high, it lethal hits if you whiff a kick. So if you whiff a kick, including that one even, maybe try ducking immediately afterwards to read it. I don't know. Probably going in way too much detail. 2K is still 2K. Rising K is another -2, so you don't really get anything off of it. Consider spinning again. And of course, these are all level 3 impacts. Then you've got Jump K, which we've covered in the other 2 sections. Oh, my bad. You can try that, or you can just step, but it does occasionally catch step, so careful of your direction. Like so. Easy enough. If you do block it, you're not going to be able to get any sort of punish off it. Next up, we have his back-turned situations. Regular back-turn K is a -2, so yeah, you know, kick or spin, right? Whereas back-turn 2K is -12, or no, -14. Sorry. It is -14, which means, thanks to the Season 2 changes, you can do this. That leaves you at +6 as opposed to your Rising K, which only leaves you at +2. I should mention that that applies to all of the 2Ks, or low kicks rather. Valid punish on all of them. It is 14 frames if you use your crouching 3K. It also builds Dark Legacy. It leaves you a bit farther away, but more plus, so up to you how you decide to use it. Alright, moving right along to Raphael's dual button attacks. I realized that in the kick section I said about 10,000 times. That's my bad, I should probably pay more attention to my own narration. So to lead off, we have Enveloping Staccato, which is a +B break attack, and you can still just dodge it with your Chief Hold Spin like you would pretty much anything else, despite the fact that your Chief Hold Spin does not have invincibility. It still moves to the side a bit, which means it's still perfectly good for dodging obvious telegraphed verticals. Next you have Fury of Lugaro. If he doesn't charge it, the timing is bad. Sorry. So like I was saying, if he doesn't charge it, you can just duck. You can also parry in between, but I'm messing it up every time. I might have lied. There it is. I don't know what that was about, sorry about that. He can charge it though, so real quick to the recorded version. That's what you want to go for if you see the charge, because the charged version jails. No ducking or impacting allowed. Anyway, moving right along, we have spinning affrondo thrust. Quite the name, that one. It is a vertical low, minus 14, so you don't get rising B, but you do get rising, or full crouch 3K. You can also sword jump it on reaction, or simply sidestep. The sidestepping gets weird though, as you can see.
Is that it? Give up.
Probably sidestep left. Next is Baroque Storm. It's a 2-hit mid with pretty fast startup. Doesn't really track at all. So you can go for the back and hit it.
How could I lose?
But it's much more likely that you just get forced to block. You can impact in between.
What? Are you so desperate?
Use your fancy new move to get some Oki if you want. Alternatively, if you block both, it is minus 10, which gives you the rare opportunity to use A slide B on block. Next is Assalto Montante Crescendo. And this one is a classic. I think it used to be his A plus B, now it's back A plus B. Is minus 12, so you don't get full crouch 3K off of it, but you do get your rising kicks. You can also just use jump A, be aware that it does do a lot of guard damage. You cannot get your base hold off in time. He can just do the first 2 hits and not do the low, trying to bait out random jumps or panic crouches or what have you. If he does opt to do that a lot, then he's minus 16, and as you probably know by now, being minus 16 against Siegfried is very bad, if I wasn't a terrible player. It's not coming out every time now. I swear I just did this easily. There it is. So moving right along. As you saw, you do kind of have to buffer that input out, so it means that you're guessing if you go for the 16 frame punish, which means that you probably are doing that as a read, if he does it a lot already. I would say if you're trying to react to it, to go for 236A plus B plus K, your whatever the soul charge startup move is called, because that is a lot easier to throw out with less buffer and less input difficulty. Anyway, Blood Roar, minus 8, parry attack. Only parries in horizontals, but it's really just gonna beat a lot of horizontals, so whatever. There you saw it though. Do block it for this. Be aware that if you block it and go for that, he may do it a second time and land the parry, whatever. It does have a lethal hit condition, which I forget, so I will look it up real quick. Wow, so if you've already lethal hit someone 4 times, then Blood Roar lethal hits as well, just to salt the wound. Anyway, next is Cantarella Needle, which is his directed stab.
Pathetic. Pathetic.
This is another minus 10, so you get A slide B, or your 6A if you're up close. Be aware that farther away, 6A won't hit,
Pathetic.
and A slide B just might. A slide B also being a mid and a vertical, thus making you immune to tech crouch shenanigans or blood roar shenanigans. And then if he just whiffs it, then you punish, right? Easy enough. Next, spiral and circular envelopment are both dodges. Spiral dodges high and mid, whereas circular dodges mid and low. And then he has a counter attack that can go into a stance out of that. This one I will just show off via recording. It's hard to even get it so that he dodges properly. Very frustrating. That's safe, there's not really much you can do about it. It's much more likely if he dodges that you're just gonna get hit. But be aware that the move is there, and that it's safe. It is negative though, I believe, so you can... It used to be -12, someone said, so try your A slide B. If you do get lucky enough to react to the dodge and block it. And that wraps up Raphael's dual button attacks, since his back-turned options are actually just the 2 dodges again. Yeah. Moving right along, we have 8-way run moves for Raphael. Starting off with Bloody Slicer, which has kind of a weird animation and is -14. That's a very distinctive pose, so it should be easy to recognize and punish, even if it's not a big punish. Next is Merciless Stromazone, or whatever it is. Does not jail, so just duck the second hit and punish. You cannot guard impact that though, so you gotta duck. It is pretty negative even if you block both hits, so you can try to pressure afterwards if you so choose. But you can go into Arriere Gambit or whatever afterwards. So, best to just duck that second hit. Give yourself a chance for a counter hit punish. Next is Deadly Strikes. The other option out of that same high. Below is quite punishable, and you should already be ducking to get out of the second hit of that 2-hit high strike. If you're not ducking for some strange reason though, you can sidestep because it is a vertical, but as you can see, still very difficult to get behind him and get back. So rather than risk teching it, just block low and launch him for the punish. He can go into preparation here. I'm not really sure what good that does him, because all of a lot of characters' options are just going to beat it, including the one you should be using anyway. So that's a thing. Next is however you pronounce this. Squalambrato Concierto or whatever. And as we speak, I am discovering I've vastly overestimated what the frames are on that. Excuse me, another one that goes into preparation, making it quite difficult to punish or pressure after. In general, you can just go for a 5B there, and you can just try launching him. You might get punished for 3B on block if that's what he chooses to do, but if he doesn't go into the stance, you'll beat it. If he does go into the stance and go for the B, you might be in trouble. So you can try just sidestepping there. If he goes for the stance and goes for the A option, then you should beat it like that. It's also rather slow, so you have time to block. Better option is to try and kind of cover both of these at the same time. So, Step, and then while rising B. Step. Oops. Bad reaction on my part, but step and then while rising B. Watch for the counter hit confirm. And step, and then while rising B. So, for all possible options out of Squalembrato Concerto, you can simply step and then while rising B him. Next we have Broken Thrust. I forget what this was. It is minus 16. But he has a stance afterwards that kind of invalidates that. Still good to be aware of. That's a lot of damage. As I said though, he has preparation, so he can just wreck you for it. Since it's minus 16, you can try for a 5BB. Or, with this fancy new Season 2 stuff, that will punish. Alternatively, you can go for stuff like 3K or B6 or what have you. I suppose, since it's minus 16, you could also try the classic potato move, as people called it back before it got nerfed. Then you have Death Guys, which is
How could I lose?
pretty quick low. It is rising B punishable, even though sometimes that doesn't work in training mode for some reason. Next up is Valiant Falcon. I don't know what the point of this move is, other than the second hit being a launcher. Because for a kind of meh vertical, it is quite punishable. I don't know, I don't really see him use it a lot online. Anybody's guess what the move is actually for. Maybe it's a natural launcher combo off of something or other. Next is Aiming Shaft. Really long range low, an annoying laugh mixed in. Really long range. But if you're within range, it's quite a bit negative and you can get your rising B punish. That was an intentional 4B, I wasn't sure if it was that slow or not. Venom Sidekick is 10, so speaking of the potato move, just try that or any number of other faster poke options afterwards. Venom Roundhouse is only minus 6, so you have a little bit less option-wise after blocking that. Either go for a low profile or press something even faster than 16 frames. So you've got the low profile option and the Speedy Speed Boy option. Your 16 frame options do not work here. And your slower low profiles will also get you hit. Like so. Anyway, moving right along, we have Dark Moon. This is minus 10. You can Rising A, and there's really not much you can do about it except maybe guard impact. Can't get any punish off this, but this does leave you in a scenario for either a frame trap, buffed in Dark Legacy, or a mid-verse low. Wyvern Tail, which is a really slow minus 2 attack. You can either try to just get behind it and go for a punish if you see it coming, or I wouldn't really suggest doing anything slow. You can kick afterwards and it'll trade even if he 6Bs. Sorry, lost my mind for a second there. Or for this one, you should be able to get away with 3B low profile, thanks to the fact... Actually, I don't know. Thanks to the fact that he doesn't go into any kind of stance afterwards, I would say, but neither did Venom Roundhouse. So just something to be aware of, that you can press 3B and get away with it. That's assuming he keeps mashing, by the way. Bloody Funeral is a really obvious one. Of course I messed it up, but get your lethal there. And he can cancel it into Preparation, but even if he does, he should be able to beat out most of the presses. On top of that, if you react fast enough, wow. Way to just troll me, game. I have seen it lethal hit even when he goes into the stance before. Next up we got Dread Coffin.
How could I lose?
Not much to say about this one. Leaves him very, very plus. As you can see, kick losing cleanly there. You also don't have nearly enough time to do any kind of low profile or even spin. So if you're pressing any button after this, it's guard impact. That's just about the only thing you can get away with. Of course, I have seen Raphael many, many times when a human is playing him go for Dread Coffin straight into a break attack for unblockable to basically call out that guard impact and just wreck your day. Next up is sliding. Alright. Either do something silly like that, or just block low and launch him. Really quick to talk about his throws. He just has the standard set of forward, backside, and behind throws. But he's also got an enhanced version of only the regular A+G throw. Which means if you get thrown while he's in soul charge, probably go for your regular front escape. You know what? I think Raphael just has too many moves. It's kind of annoying. Lots and lots and lots of special moves that all transition into stances, and stances deny the most logical or easy options to respond to the previous move, and he can just dodge and counter hit you. But if you try to read the dodge, then you'll get counter hit by regular mashing. It goes around and around. So, anyway, Ebony Slash. Seems like a simple enough move. Guard impact that second hit. You cannot step or anything though. And he's got Ebony combo, where you can't parry the second hit, but you can duck the second hit because it doesn't jail. But if you duck, then because this doesn't jail, you get hit. And now the thing about Ebony Slash is it's not very intuitive. You might try a 14 frame move and lose your turn or whatever. So, anyway. Sorry, I didn't show that properly. Right, so the same situation is like every other 6, where it's huge pain. I don't know. You can try just 14 frames, right? I think I already explained this a few times. Or you can just sit there guessing, since Ebony Spindle, the third version of this. The second kick also gives you a level 3 impact. Ducking is probably the riskiest option, since he's got 2 mid follow-up options and only 1 immediate high follow-up. Ebony Spindle, the second and third hits jail. So if you block the second hit, that third hit, even though it's a high, can't be ducked. But that one is pretty negative from what I recall. It's only minus 12, but it is still a guaranteed kick. So that whole mess, I'm not really sure what to say about. Ebony combo, by the way. It is minus 14, but because it can go straight into preparation after it, you risk getting messed up, so go for A slide B, but then if he doesn't go to preparation, then he just blocks that. Fortunately, you do have some options out of blocked A slide B, which is nice. In any case, he's using a move that leaves him negative on block, but you might give up your turn for trying to block and punish. Fun stuff, and it's horizontal. So it's best to just stop him from going into preparation in the first place. But I'm talking too much about some of his simplest options out of this, so anyway. Lunging press. Not much to say here other than it also goes into preparation. You get into the same mess. You can try to go for 6A to beat mashing, or you can go for A slide B to beat preparation. He's only going to go with mashing if he's mashing 6B specifically, so you can also go for something silly like straight into, oops, block and then go straight into a rising B, or I don't think 3B will work if I'm too slow to beat 6B mash. Let's just record, shall we? If I wasn't bad. During preparation. 6A. sorry. So 1B, 6A. And there's that. I think I actually did record this elsewhere. 1B, 6A. That's cutting it close. So it'll beat it there. I'm accidentally holding it. B, 6A tap. 6B. So yes, 3B is not a catch-all. Neither is A slide B. He can just 6A mash you to death. But like I mentioned, 6A will catch if he doesn't go into preparation and matches 6B. So again, it's a kind of ambiguous situation and he probably knows that. But if you don't catch him mashing 6B right after every time, it's probably more likely he's going to go into preparation for the quote mix-up unquote. Then just throw a mid out there. Alternatively, of course, this is something I probably should have mentioned right away. You can go for B6 out of either. Oops. That is also valid for the earlier one, Ebony combo, because it's minus 14. Oops. B6 will punish even if it doesn't counter hit anything, and then you get that chance that you might counter hit him out of some type of preparation move. So very useful. Anyway, Underworld Ball. So this used to be minus 12, I think. It is not anymore. So you're looking to sidestep mid. You might want to delay it before going to the back throw, because it does end in a crouching side turned kind of state. But in any case, you're reacting to the mid. I think you left it like 6 or something weird now. So you can try that, but you might get mashed out of it. You can also try that, but he might 6B punish you. It's your call. Best to just sidestep. He can also go into preparation out of this one, but then you're just sidestepping into a stare down. Of course, if you do something silly like that, grab him, he might just mash out and kill you, but in the end it's just a stare down situation. He's also got this move. Don't let him get away with this one. First of all, you can crush the second hit. Oops. Second of all, it's minus 16. Weird block stun though. There it is. So I think you can probably... No, you can't go into preparation, so if you see that, you can always just wreck him for it. You can also always try crouching after that first high B hit, because it'll jail if it's not the kick follow-up. And if it's tri-fold slash, then even though you won't crouch right away, that late crouch will still result in you blocking it. Tri-fold slash, by the way, giving you a true punish. Doesn't really have a stance transitioner out of that, and it's minus a lot. Cannot sidestep it, by the way. Anyway, Dread Intrigue. Dread Intrigue forces crouch, but it is minus 10. So, while it looks like it might be pretty plus, you can just come up with Rising A, or you can, if you feel like he's going to push a button, which he almost definitely won't, go for Rising B or K instead. This one's pretty recognizable because he flies up in the air. It's also pretty negative. Get your instant AGA punish. A pirouette kick is also quite negative. A little less obvious, but still pretty recognizable. Just a bit of a punch. Maybe a lot harder to punish. Got a buffer with it. King Cobra Strike is kind of an unambiguous get out of the way move. Quick parade. You'll see it's already too late for it to catch you, so you can just treat it like you would a whiff punish. But it should be noted that it parries mids, which means that it's a stance that dodges high, going into a parry that parries mids, meaning the only thing that's guaranteed when he goes into preparation is a low. But a lot of the time, if you block, you don't really need to worry about that. He can go back into preparation after missing the parry as well. But that takes away the mid protection, like you just saw. There's that, which unfortunately he doesn't give you his back long enough to get a back throw.
Is that it?
So just, again, treat it like a whiff punish. I hate this.
Try to have some dignity.
Plus on block critical edge, boys. You cannot really move at the flash or you will get hit. Just treat it like reversal edge. Sorry. slow. Just like reverse ledge, it'll follow you. Off both, you can get the chief ult. Again, I'm just being slow, it's late at night, whatever. So this one has a third. I'm not really sure what the meaning of the third one is because it's just the same move again. You do you. And that wraps up preparation stance. So I lied earlier because Arya Gambit stance on startup parries lows, so he has a stance that dodges highs with mid and low parry transitions. So like I said at the start of this section, really good at creating ambiguous situations with no clear answer. Hooray for hard reads. So first off, heavy then gritty. On 3D probably or something. Kick punishable. Next up, this move, not punishable. Furthermore, even Rising K will end up trading. You can actually guard impact despite the fact that he's -2 if you delay a bit. And catch him out of 6B. In general, I would say probably try to make some reads here. I think he's going for the super fast mash option and go for your chief ult spin, although yes, of course, super cursed since I'm trying to record. It will parry, it comes out fast enough. Yeah, that's kind of that. Then he's got a low option. I swear that feels like it's unbelievably fast online, but it's actually quite slow, so get your punish. Since it's a hopping, jumping thing, it will beat your own lows, though. He's got another version, but it only happens on hit. You've probably seen it. That's where he stomps you again. Next we've got Shadow Evade stance, which is basically a manual triggering of the preparation dodge, if you look at the animation. If you see that, you probably want to bop him with a mid. The reason for that being that he has very strong options out of this. He's got a horizontal mid that's only -2, I believe, completely safe. Even though it's kind of slow, it doesn't really give much of a reward for impacting it, and here's the real dangerous thing. So you can kick, but that's all you're gonna get here. Because you're only, or it's not -2, it's -4. I'm sorry, I misspoke. But in any case, what you can try to do is just go for the low profile, knowing that he can mash out fast stuff there. But that's kind of taking an unnecessary risk when you could just something like that. Now that one's not the real threat. This is the real messy one. Is a 20 frame break attack.
Feel this?
Now, I can sit here and react on the Steam version all day. Well, it's like a jumping glitch.
Feel this? Give up.
But with 8 frames of input delay, reacting to a 20 frame startup, lightning doesn't even show up on frame 1.
Feel this?
Good luck with that. It's also got a very quick settle. You basically have to predict this one. But you do get Rising K punish. Note that it catches sidestep, so 2 of the 3 will catch you stepping. Yeah, it's hard. It's really, really hard. So what you definitely want to do is just whack him when you see him go into the stance. If you're not sure if you can react fast enough, use B6, since it will stun him if he's pressing any button out of it. Finally, we've got Quick Parade stance, which you saw earlier. It's the mid-guard impact. He can directly enter it as opposed to entering it from preparation with 4B plus K.
Come on! Come on!
Like so. He can still go back into preparation even if he does it. For some reason though, this is broken in training mode,
Come on!
so it only works the first time. Beats me. But he's got a safe unblock low, a safe unblock mid string, and a... about to sneeze. Excuse me. A second safe unblock. No, sorry. The last one is not safe unblock. The last one is quite punishable. I'm just going to record them all to show you. So first, safe unblock low. But it is minus 10.
Come on!
So you can press just about whatever you want afterwards.
Come on! Come on!
Oh, I lied. That doesn't feel very minus 10. I feel as though the wiki has lied to
Come
me.
on!
It's extra annoying, isn't it?
Come on!
There's the real answer. Jump that. Because if you do block it, I guess you're going for that. Or better yet, probably try that move out since it's only minus 10 itself. If you're gonna get hit with 6B either way, right? Sorry, next up is
Come on!
the B follow-up. You can cancel the multi-hit into a second vertical at any time during it.
Come on!
So this one is minus 10
Come
again,
on!
supposedly. I'm not trusting the wiki anymore. Let's give it a shot, shall we?
Come on!
Wait, something faster.
Come on!
Okay.
Come on!
Sorry.
Come on!
It's a bit. But it forces crouch. Yes, this time, for real, you can get away with your 18 frame rising A. The regular version, though, or the non-followed up version, perhaps I should say,
Come on!
is only minus 6, I think. Yep.
Come on!
So if he just does that first part, doesn't force crouch, you're gonna have to go with one of your 14 frames. Whether it be that,
Come on!
or just B6, which as your only real 14 frame mid is, well, I mean you have this, it's just not a good move, is pretty reliable. I don't think I've talked about it much, but Siegfried's lack of fast mids really hurts him against Raphael stances. Just because of how obnoxious preparation can be. The fact that that's available in so many places means that using a 14 frame high is very frequently taking a risk. Anywho, Twin Vipers.
Come on! Come on!
See how he like poses?
Come on!
That gives you all the time in the world to style back on him if you blocked it.
This ends! Come on! This ends!
So I would recommend going for this because you don't get the back throw. That's actually just a stylistic thing. Even though his back is turned to you, you will not get a back throw out of this.
Come on!
And of course Rising B works too, but it does less damage than standing 4B. And that wraps up all of Raphael's stance moves. Okay, to wrap up Raphael, we've got his gauge attacks. Start off, we have a safe on block critical edge, which is always fun.
Try to have some dignity.
It says it's -8 on the wiki, but it seems to be maybe -10 because I can get away with a slide B, at least when I record it.
Try to have some dignity.
Of course, sometimes my hand
Try to
slips.
have some dignity. Try to have some dignity.
So it looks like he ends up kind of off angle at least, enough to, even if it's not -10, still get a slide B underneath his 6B. So since that's his only 10 frame, it is a practical follow-up regardless. That said, if he presses critical edge out of his preparation stance,
Try to have some dignity.
it's plus on block, because of course it is. Oh, and you absolutely do not have time to sidestep after the flash.
Try to have some dignity.
You can sidestep when he enters
Try to
preparation,
have some dignity.
but as you see, there is a bit of autocorrect to it. So, shenanigans. Next up, he's got Royal Serpent, and he can go into Shadow Evade. Out of that, it doesn't seem to be plus on block, however. That's his Soul Charge activation attack, whatever you want to call it. Which one? This one.
Enjoy.
So you cannot get away, as you saw with 6A there. Anyway, 4A, however, does work. So it's -6 or worse, question mark. In any case, if you block that, you can push some type of button afterwards. You may want to consider, just for practicality's sake,
Enjoy.
I think he's gonna mash. Oops, I'm not sure what that's all about. Sorry, this.
Enjoy.
So I take it back. Don't try B6. The timing's too weird. There's a lot of block stun on that move. In any case. So next we have Viper Hiss. The first hit is a high, but it's pretty dangerous. Try for the counter hit. So even if you duck, I would recommend sidestepping. And going for the back throw. If you do block it, you're kind of just stuck. Cannot sidestep. Obviously can't guard impact. It's a mid, so you can't crouch. You're just, it's a silly move. He can also go into preparation out of this, which it's a pretty good preparation stance starter, seeing as how he's plus on block after the break attack. Then he has Renegade Thrust, which is another high into... Sorry, this move's really annoying because it doesn't register properly in training mode. You have to make him do another move or it won't come back out. So another high in horizontal break attack. Sorry. If you duck it, you can mash out this time pretty reliably. But even if you block it, this one does not jail. Probably best to go for the spin, because he can go into preparation stance, so he'll just float away from you if you try to back throw too early. If he doesn't go into the stance, you might miss your chance for the back throw. Anyhow. Dang it all. Next up is this. So as you saw, you can still step out of that last hit. But you can't spin out of that last hit, as you can see. You don't have time if you step and then spin to get the lethal hit. So just sidestep the third hit and back throw. Probably your best option. Next you have Vicious Viper. Dang it. So, pretty telegraphed that third hit there. You want to sidestep it since you only get level 1 guard impact. You can duck the first 2 hits. The third hit is a mid, but the second hit is guaranteed after the first. It does a ton of guard damage. So you can't really react and duck that high, and since the second high is also not duckable if you block the first one, much more plausible that you're going to end up sidestepping for that move. This move is annoying. As you can see, you miss a lot. Rising B doesn't work. So there's the real play. Gotta jump the second hit, which is really hard to recognize that you have to do, so pay attention when he's in soul charge. If you happen to block the already quite fast low, you still have to jump over the second low. Just soul charge things. So this move is special. It's minus 16, just like the DP version of that, and it's really obvious because he flies into the air and there's that little musical tone, so don't miss your chance to get a lethal hit punish. Next up, Scarlet Roar. This is an odd one. So, you can't sidestep if you block. Sorry, you can't sidestep to the right. You can sidestep to the left. You really have to move to get the back throw. Weirdly, I've seen customs miss that second hit if you spin, but it doesn't seem like you can spin out against real Raphael, so it's a sidestep left if you block. But that spin is pretty telegraphed, you know. He can also go into preparation if you block the second hit, which you shouldn't be pushing buttons if you block the second hit anyway. But be aware that he might float away, so you have to run up and grab him instead of simply grabbing, which might cause you to whiff and feel silly. Next is Thousand Hornets, which I showed in the throw section. Just front tech if he's got the glowy, see, glowy front tech, glowy front tech. Next up is Rampage of the Queen Bee, which is just a really enhanced version of the preparation stabby stabby. See how you can't really step. And if you block the first two and then the third one, you can't do anything. That whole thing is jail. So you want to guard impact the third hit. But you have to do it carefully because if you miss the timing, you actually will get hit. Sorry for the poor demonstration. So this version of these kicks jails. Annoying, right? Can't duck, and it's still safe on block. Obviously can't impact since it jails. So, what you gotta do, I think it is negative for sure. My memory slips, I had it recorded. I think that might be as negative as it gets though, and in fact it is. You can go for 3k if you want to trade a little bit of damage, maybe if he's got a pixel left. But obviously he can just block, because this is safe. Or 4A will trade, or you can just go for 5k and beat out any button he presses afterwards. Last but not least, we have another double low. But this one I believe is just full on punishable. Lots of guard damage as you saw, but unlike his other double low, you can just Rising B this one. And yeah, that's Raphael.